Okay, guys, I want to introduce you to the SSH and Open SSH. SSH stands for Secure Shell. It's a way to safely connect to another computer over a network. This is really important when using the internet because the internet isn't always secure. Without the SSH, things like usernames, passwords, and commands can be seen by attackers. SSH fixes this by encrypting everything, which basically means it scrambles the data so no one else can read it. Another important part of the SSH is authentications. This just means both sides make sure they are talking to the right system. It helps prevent attacks where someone tries to pretend to be the real server when it's not. So when you use SSH, you can trust that you're connecting to the onto the correct machine. Open SSH is the most common version of the SSH that people use. It's free, open source, and already installed on most Linux and Micro OS systems. People use it for things like logging to servers, running command remote leads, and transferring files on securely. Because it's so reliable and secure, it's used almost everywhere in IT. Sorry, should have did this, but like I said before, what is SSH is a secure shell, and it's used in most programs. Now, how does it work? SSH works in a client server setup. The client is your computer, and the server is your remote computer you want to connect to. You will start the connection by entering the command with the server address. When the connection starts, the SSH creates a secure connection using something called a key exchange. This allows both sides to agree on how to encrypt the sessions without actually sending the secret key over to the network. That's what makes it very secure. After that, you'll have to prove who you are, and this could be done with a password, but a better way is using a key pair. Once you are verified, everything you do, like typing commands or transferring files, is encrypted. That means that no one else can see or exchange what you are doing. Key features of OpenSSH. OpenSSH has a lot of useful features that make it secure and easy to use. One big feature is strong encryptions like AES, which protects your data while it's being sent. Another important feature is key-based authentication. Instead of using passwords, you use a pair of keys. One stays on your computer and the other is on the server. This is much safer than that of a password. OpenSSH also lets us transfer files securely using tools like SCP and SFTP. These tools use the same secure connection as SSH. It also supports the port forwarding, which lets you securely connect onto other servers through the SSH. Lastly, OpenSSH is very flexible. You can change settings to control how you can log in and how connections work and how secure everything is. This makes it useful for both small setups and large companies. Security risk in SSH. Even though SSH is secure, there are still some risk if it's not set up properly. One common problem is brute force attacks. This is when attackers try many users on username and password combinations until they find the right one. Weak passwords make this easier. Another issue is bad configuration. For an example, if a password login is still allowed, it increases the risk. Also, if anyone from any IP address can try to connect, attackers have more chances to get in. Outdated software is also a big problem. Older versions of OpenSSH can have security holes that attackers know how to exploit. That's why the updates are important. Also, older encryption methods may not be safe anymore. This is also a risk if SSH keys are not protected. If someone gets access to a private key, they can log in without a password. So it's important to keep safe and manage who has access. As recommendations, the first recommendation is to turn off the password authentication and only use the SSH keys. Passwords are easier to guess or steal, but SSH keys are much harder to break. This makes your system a lot safer. The second recommendation is a strong encryption on and keep open the SSH updated. Not all encryptions are strong, so it's important to use modern secure options. Updates are also important because they fix security problems. By doing these two things, you make it much harder for attackers to break into your system or steal your data. In conclusion, but also just to add to the third recommendation, is excuse me, the third recommendation is to limit who can access your SSH servers. You can do this by allowing only certain users or specific IP addresses. This reduces the chances of attackers even trying to connect. Another good step is adding a two-factor authentication or 2FA. This means users need a second step like a code on their phone to log in. Even if someone steals a password or key, they still can't get in easily. It's important to monitor activity by checking your logs, and you can see if there are failed login attempts or anything suspicious going on. In conclusion, SSH and OpenSSH are very powerful tools for secure communications, but they only stay secure if you set them up correctly. By using keys and updating your system, limiting access, and monitoring activity, you can keep your system safe and protected. And this is my presentation. Thank you for your time.